Hello once again, this is Joanna. Welcome to your March readings. I have a couple of announcements, so this intro is going to be slightly longer, but there's good stuff here. Number one, first and foremost, thank you so much for watching, for coming back, for listening, for liking, for subscribing. For those of you who have booked a reading with me, thank you so much. You know who you are. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. March readings are different in a way that I have been asked to use completely different cards. I've never used them before. I actually bought them about 12-15 years ago when I was going through a pretty challenging time, and I kind of like them. I never in my life thought I was going to do these readings, certainly not on YouTube or live, or readings in general. And I was told very clearly to use these cards. Now, they have no numbers, they have no meanings, they have no symbology, they have nothing other than art in order to inspire certain emotion, to evoke certain feeling, and to prompt an intuition or intuitive prompting. In my case, it also starts the process of information flowing from my guides as far as feeling, hearing, and seeing and knowing. So I will show you these cards. They're called soul cards. There is soul cards. This is the first one, and I believe there's a soul cards too. And you'll see, just like in this vision, there is nothing. There's no numbers. So the card will show up like this, and it'll evoke a certain feeling, image, words, and often a certain phrase that I will hear. So what I do with these cards is I hold them up to the screen so that you can look at them and see what emotion is evoked within you. Always listen to your intuition. Just because your interpretation is different than mine does not make mine or yours wrong or right. It simply means your information may be in addition to what I'm saying or instead of. So always listen to your intuition. I was very timid starting with these cards. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. It's because there is no parameters. Mind you, I'm not one that fits within certain categories, so it's actually should have been no surprise to me that I would really like them, because the moment I started the first reading, I actually loved them. I loved the energy. I loved how it was just so easy for me to hear. It was just an instant flow. I wasn't bogged down by any numbers, any dates, any wording. It was there's nothing for me to interpret. It was just pure information flow. So I hope you like them. Please let me know, and maybe I will keep this for a while, or until my guide tells me to go and do something else, which is what he always does. And I just kind of go, okay, you know what you're doing, and I just follow. It's called trust. Now, the other thing is exciting, that on March 20th, I'm going to be debuting my very first radio show. That is March 20th, which is a Monday. It's going to happen every other Monday at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. This show is going to be live. It is going to be archived, and I will post this also on my YouTube channel, so you can also listen to it afterwards. When it's live, some of the sessions will have a component of me doing a reading live, so you can call in, or doing a reading with somebody else so that you guys can call in. On Monday, my first show, I will be interviewing a lady, a phenomenal soul. Her name is Stephanie, and we're going to talk everything inspirational, and also everything, not creation, yes, but manifesting. So we will talk about her story. She's just super funny and just amazing. And we will talk everything about manifesting. We might even take a caller or two live to give free readings, or whatever it happens to be at the time. Point is, I would encourage you to listen to it, because the show is for you. When Spirit asked me to do the show, and I said, what the heck for? It was very clear to me that my work, however it's going to transpire, is something that you have been asking for, maybe not in a specific way, through me. And the show is all about empowering and inspiring people. And this is going to be done through messages from Spirit, information that I have gone through and interviewing different individuals who have inspiring stories. So what I would like to do is I would like to ask you to send me your ideas about what it is that you would like to see on the show. So send me an email. That information is down below for you, with a subject line radio show idea. And every time I implement the idea live, I will mention your name unless you ask me not to. So since this is for you, it only makes sense that I include and involve you in this process as much as possible. And I also think it's going to be fun. It's going to be, certainly when I use your ideas and you hear it, I think it just creates a certain involvement and an inclusivity, and I always want to be as inclusive as possible. And I think that's all I have. I don't want to talk too much because it's already way longer intro than any other intro, but I hope you can appreciate what it is that I was trying to say. Of course, these are general readings. If you would like more readings, I have videos on Vimeo for very small fee, and some of those are projections for 6 months, some of those are projections for 3 months for relationships, and I have those links included down below as well. Without further ado, let's get started with March reading. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, as always. And if you would like to contact me privately, that information is also down below. And I will see you in a moment. Stay tuned. Hello, Geminis. This is going to be a reading for the sign or for the month of March 2017. I have my 4 new cards face down. I don't know what they are. What I will do is I will hold the card to the screen so that you can see what intuitive promptings you get from the card. And then I will go in and give you what my message is pertaining on the card. If my message is different than what you are perceiving, it's not right or wrong. It simply means you get an additional message or a different message, which is absolutely appropriate to you. So pay attention to that first intuitive prompting and then see what transpires for you. So this is going to be a bit of an exercise on listening to your intuition. The very first thing you hear or see or feel is usually your intuition. Anything after tends to go to your head and tends to be distorted by ego or thoughts or logic. Okay. Now, when I was meditating on you and I was shuffling cards, first and foremost, I see a butterfly flying away. This to me signifies freedom. I actually hear the word disconnecting from something that has been troubling you, disconnecting from something that has been weighing you down, disconnecting emotionally from something that is, there's a weight to it, it's heavy. Now, I'm picking this up as an energy, not necessarily as an actual situation, so it will mean different things to different people. Energetically, that's what I feel, so see how this applies to you. But what I also felt, what I also heard was that the month of March can and will, for some of you, actually for most of you potentially, if you allow it, and we'll go into the details why, it is a month that will, first of all, it's a month of exploration, and this is inner exploration more so than outer exploration, but it's also a time and a month for you where there is a huge potential for you to gain a lot of inner peace with something that, again, has been troubling you for quite some time, has been weighing you down for quite some time, or something that you have not been able to shake off up until this time. And for some of you, this is, I'm going ages, like ages. And for some of you, I see the number 7. So since the age of 7, 17, 27, 37, 47, something with the number 7 or July also comes up to surface. So let's go with the first card. I will hold it for you first, then I will tune into it, and we'll go from there. So, oh, beautiful. I love this card. As you see, there is no words, there is no meanings, there is no numbers, there's absolutely nothing other than a vision that will prompt you to, or will prompt your intuition. And look on this for just a moment. I mean, most of you will pretty easily see what this is, but you may have different wording or different feeling about this message. If you get, interestingly enough, he's saying to me, if you get a message that, or if you get a feeling that is very uncomfortable, that is, oh, you might want to pay attention why this vision is causing you some discomfort. And that's not going to be very many of you, but the fact that he's bringing this to my attention says that some of you will be disturbed by the vision because it'll bring up something to surface that you may not want to deal with, and that something is the word resistance. Okay, so when I tune into this card, it's pretty self-explanatory to me. I've seen it before, although the same cards will have slightly different meanings depending on whatever reading I am doing. But what I hear when I look at this card, and what I feel most importantly, is that this person is giving birth. Like, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? This person, woman in this case, because we're looking at her breasts, she is in a very vulnerable position, literally in a raw, and she's giving birth to something, birth to an idea, birth to a new concept of herself, birth of new identity, birth to a physical child. For some of you it could be, it's not going to be for many of you. Birth of new way of living, and new way of associating yourself with the world around you. The light behind her signifies divine guidance. So whatever is happening in the month of March is potentially going to allow you to give birth, and I particularly hear the word, to new ideas. Okay, now this isn't a very predictive type card, as in, you know, you're going to get a job, it's much deeper than this, and we'll go through the rest of the cards to get the fuller message. But the overall energy in the month of March is potentially, of course, I actually just heard the word stop resisting. Stop resisting the process. Some of you, life is pushing you in a new direction, and you are resisting it with all your might. And I see you like this. Whatever it is, whether a job that is ending, a relationship that is ending, a certain situation that's coming to an end, certain doors that are closing, and the moment I tune into this, I have this feeling in my chest that is very uncomfortable, and also in my stomach. And for some of you, the new beginnings or the new birth is as a result of something coming to an end, or something that has come to an end, or a closure of some sort. And I heard very clearly, stop resisting the process. So remember what I said at the very beginning, that March, for most of you, will have there will be an energy for potentially you be giving birth to something new, particularly new identity, if you stop resisting it. So kind of muse around that message itself, because again, if you had a disturbed feeling with this, or you felt, remember what I said, resistance. So that's the overall meaning, that's the overall energy for the month of March. The next card is obstacles or opportunities, and depending on what it is, we'll see whether it's one or the other. And again, look at this card. A little bit closer. It may look like a snake. There's a face at the end, and it almost looks like this snake is biting its own tail. There's a lot of darkness in this color, in this card. There's also some white. There is blue, which signifies to me expression. There's a bit of yellow here. There seems to be a feminine energy with this. And this, to me, when I say the word energy, all of a sudden I heard the word feelings. So some of you have been stifling your feelings, or you are going to be stifling your feelings with something, because this is opportunities and obstacles. As an obstacle, or something to watch out for, what I hear, I see a spiral down. Some of you mentally are I want to say the word spiraling down, but that sounds a little bit dark. I'm not necessarily seeing it in that way. I'm not seeing it in a context of depression. I mean, for some of you, for sure. But because as a result of something that has recently ended, or is in a process of ending, or something that was substantially significant to you, change the course of action to where you're going. Because of this, some of you may have developed feeling blue or feeling of depression. I heard the words migraine headaches. For some of you, you actually are getting migraine headaches, but that's for not for all of you, obviously. So as an obstacle here, I hear the words, watch out for your thoughts that take you down into the dungeon. So some of you have a tendency to self-sabotage yourself. Well, that's self-sabotage. And this is through the process of negative thinking, being overly pessimistic, or having an over idealistic idea of what are you of or who you should be. So let me just expand on that a little bit. If you have an unrealistic idea of yourself, you might want to look at the idea that you have of yourself. Where does it come from? How have you been influenced in order to come up with this idea of yourself? I hear the word shortchanging. Either you are shortchanging yourself, or you have felt shortchanged in the past and you need to overcompensate for something. There's definitely a feeling of you having thoughts that are detrimental to your own health and the health of your being or your inner being. And remember, the energy of March is a potential of bringing a brand new awareness to you, and therefore creating a brand new identity for yourself. So the obstacle here is watch for those self-limiting thoughts and beliefs. Something is going to transpire in the month of March where either you already do that, or something is going to prompt you to go to make you go into negativity. And that's not just slightly off the center. That's like way in a completely different direction on the other side of positivity. So there's definitely a sense here of you needing to become more positive in the way you think of yourself, and therefore how it's externalized in your world. And I'm going to leave it at that. The next card is actions. Well, this could also be actions, but I'm going to see what the card is. And this is what the image is. So again, take a look at what it says or what it shows and see what prompts you or what feelings come up. The moment I look at this card, my throat is seizing. And this is telling me that this particular person is feeling stuck when it comes to expression, either outward expression or expression of self. I also feel that part of me wants to go in a different place, but there's another part of me that's holding me back. And when I tune into whatever is holding me back, I hear the word fears. So if you are a negative person, or if you have a tendency to eat your own tail, or to eat your own young, or to be pessimistic or negative, that was obviously a metaphor with eating your own young, you will have this is why the card shows up. You are being held by your outdated beliefs and your faulty programming, and this is your belief system, and hence you're having difficulty in literally detaching yourself so that you can fly. And I'm being shown again the image of the butterfly when I was shuffling the cards and meditating on the sign of Gemini. And again, the butterfly when it flew away, it made me feel, the meaning here was, the feeling was, finally I'm being free. I am flying out to do what I do best, or what I am best. And your fears are preventing you from being your best and doing your best. What those fears are, I don't know. There's, we have gazillion different fears that stem from our past and our conditioning and our programming. But remember, the month of March, it has the potential for you to change that. So as far as the actions card, the message here is, let your fears fall away so that you can finally open up to the person you are meant to be. And the moment I say this, the moment I say the person you are meant to be, I feel like I am holding myself back. I feel like I can't be more. I feel like I don't feel I can be more. I feel like limited, and it's almost impossible for me to actually fathom the idea that I can be more. So in your thoughts, yes, but in your belief system, which is what I feel like I'm held back, and I feel this energy of, how can I be more? I hope it translates to what I'm trying to say, but I can feel whatever that is that's holding you back. It's quite substantial, and it goes all the way back to when you were young. And again, I hear the word 7, or I see the number 7. So something with the number 7, or July, or the age of 7 or 17 is really making me feel like it has a lot of energy around that time frame. Now, the next card is outcome or advice. And I'm going to ask him what we're going with, outcome or advice. He says outcome. Okay. Again, I'm going to show you the card. Oh, very nice. Haven't seen that card before. So I'm going to hold it off here. Notice what comes up for you when you look at this card. When I look at this card, I feel sadness. Not because of where I'm going, but I feel sadness because I have been holding myself back. I feel inadequate. That's not the outcome. It's just, I'm trying to give you the energy that I'm picking up. I feel I have been shortchanged. I feel I have been excluded. I feel I have been minimized. I feel all those things that I have been, and the sadness is the recognition of that, and at the same time understanding that all the things that I just said that have held me back, I didn't see before. And the person standing here with open arms, there's a lot of redness. Red, the color red. Red is connected to the root chakra. There's also the color blue here. There's some yellows, but blue and red seems to be, or is the most, those two colors are most prevalent. And as I look at the clock, it says 2:22. So notice if you see repeating numbers, and also look at 2:22 and what it means for you. But that was just interesting. So when I look at this card, I feel like finally there's an opportunity for me to release myself from all the fears that have been holding me back. Some of those fears, which is again an opportunity for birthing something new, birthing a new identity. Those fears also have prevented me from being honest with myself, but also from being and feeling substantial in some way. Color red and the root chakra is almost always associated with finances, and in my practice over almost 2 decades of doing this work and therapy, hypnotherapy in particular, I have noticed that over 95% of clients who do have challenges with the root chakra, which is safety and security, there seems to be challenges around money because, again, and I've said this before, safety and security to us is often represented by money in this world, or in this particular, in this world. And if our fundamental belief system is that the world is not safe because of what happened to us when we were young, or the world is chaotic, then we were inherently literally reject money because it is in opposition to what we feel is our truth. So back again to the card of the overall energy for March. There's a potential for you to free yourself from all of that, which is giving birth to new identity, new ideas, new way of looking at yourself, and therefore looking at the world. And again, I hear the word headache. Some of you have headaches. Some of you have migraine headaches. I don't know how this fits in. Maybe it's just going to resonate with you, with those of you who do have headaches and migraines, more so than anybody else. Though I certainly do not hope and that most of you have headaches, because that would not be pleasant. It could also be situational. So this card very much coincides, coincides is the word that I got, with this card, which is letting yourself be free from all the limiting beliefs, all the limitations that have not only held you back from being truly what you're meant to be, but also holding you back from being financially secure, or secure in as far as abundance, or being abundant in a physical level. I also hear the word history repeats itself. I don't know what that means. History repeats itself. And then I hear the word dad. Some of you, you might want to look at your fears, and you might want to look at your father or father figure and notice if you are literally repeating the pattern of your father. And if that is the case, there is an opportunity for you to put an end to this, to start a brand new beginning, irrespective of how old you are. You could be 22, you could be 82, makes no difference. But there's definitely a potential here, a great opportunity to finally, he says, finally rid yourself of that which no longer serves you, as long as you stop resisting. So if you have doors closing around you, and this is a figure of speech, if there is a change in your relationships in a way that is forcing you to move forward or move away from certain relationships, and this could be work, relationship, friendships, whatever, stop resisting and know that sometimes the universe needs to push you in a certain direction and take things away from you so that you can indeed rid yourself of that which you no longer need, except you do not know that consciously, or you are resisting the process of change, and therefore you're holding on to things that no longer serve you. And I've gone through it a couple years ago. I know lots of you have gone through it, so those of you who understand the deeper message will instantly understand this. I also hear the words money is good or money will be good. So some of you are definitely dealing with some challenges around money and finances, which is directly connected to your first chakra. And some of you, the word dad comes up, or maybe maybe you grew up in an environment where your father was abusive, where your father was not around, where the father figure or whoever you thought as a father was not there supporting you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Maybe he was there, but he wasn't there emotionally. And whatever it is, some of you, there's a connection here to dad, so that will help you maybe understand why you are the way they are. Point is, this is not a blame game. Interestingly, it rhymes. This is about you recognizing certain things so that you can break the pattern once and for all. And I hear the words, your mother says hello. So some of you have a mother on the other side, or a mother figure, or a grandmother. And apparently she's saying hello, and I hear the word Rose. So it's either Rose, Rosalie, Rosanna, or a name that has a letter R in it, not necessarily the first letter. in the first or second name, sometimes middle, but it's usually first or second. And with that, I want to leave this with you. Of course, if you would like a private reading to see how this fits with you, please feel free to connect with me, and I will be more than honored. Also, this is a general reading, so it won't resonate with everybody. Listen to your other signs, because it will offer you a greater picture. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, for liking, for subscribing. I will always say this to the day that I do this. Without you, I wouldn't do this. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful month of March. Stop resisting the flow, and good luck. I look forward to seeing you in April. Take care.